Do you know, back in my earlier days, I was on duty in the playground in Suffolk, Hadley, and someone was being horrible to someone else in the playground, and I, of course, was totally secular, really tore this guy off a strip for doing it. And someone nearby, who was equally tough to the guy I was probably telling off, says to me, a teacher, "Lighten up, mate." And that went right through to me, that word. I just felt, gosh, he's right. I'm going berserk on this kid for being so bad to the other one. I don't think it dawned on me I was being as unpleasant as he'd been to the other guy, but I should lighten up a bit. I mean, for goodness sake. Amazing. I mean, it takes a taffy or a street urchin, whatever you like to call it, to be able to say to a teacher, "Lighten up, mate." I mean, we were not 21st century school. I don't mean it was as bad as Victorian era, but you call the teacher sir, not marshal, I mean, and to tell him to lighten up is, but I just knew he was so right. Bless him. Bless him. And thank you, Heavenly Father. You can teach us from any direction, any mouthpiece you want, can't you? Thank you, Heavenly Father. I'm not sure what this bit of the recording is about, this first start to this recording, except perhaps it's to say, you have a right to question. You have a right to put in your view, even if it's correction. And you can be so right. We are frightfully burdened by conformists. You end up with a nation of clones. It's inhuman, it's ghastly. God gives us a freedom to be children to Him. I hear people who are tongue-tied because they're talking to a group of people. They've got to say something in public. And they're frighteningly inhibited, poor souls. God doesn't want that. You're a child of God. Goodness, you're not inhibited when you sit down and pray to God. You talk to the ruler of the universe, whose majesty and awe is utterly, utterly, utterly beyond our comprehension. And you don't bat an eyelid. You just pray and talk to him. And you might be asking for the wrong things or saying the wrong thing, even addressing him wrongly. Why on earth should you be in fear of man? You trust utterly. Ruler of the world, the universe, all creation, all time, all things. You do not walk in fear of man. You don't do stupid things. You don't deliberately, court the guillotine or crucifixion. You do what is reasonable. But you don't have to conform. And conform to the trivia, the outward show, but not the truth of the matter. We worship God, nobody else. Nobody else, nothing else. We worship and we are what we truly value. That's who we are. child of God. Our God, not someone else's God. Not his view, not their view, not your view, but your own view. Your view of God. That's what the true relationship is. That's what you worship. You know what you value. And your God is the personification of that. And no doubt you will see your God clearer as you move closer and closer to your God. And you'll adjust your perspective to certain things, I expect, of course. We are not conformed unto this world. We may obey certain outward commands, dictations, laws, and so on. But the kingdom of heaven within is ruled by God, nobody else. And it's your God, the one who personifies all that you truly at heart value and believe to be good. That's who you are. That's who God is too. And we bring a uniqueness in our experience, our imperfect perspective that we've experienced through time, through our life and so on. We bring that. And that gives us our individuality. But we can retire within, into the kingdom of heaven, anytime we choose. We talk to God and there's no nervousness. There's no fear of saying the wrong thing. Because we know he loves us. Because that's what we value. And he is what we value. Which is why we're able to love him so. Thank you, Heavenly Father. You see, at heart, we don't just obey worldly authority, be it church or state or family or anything else. Our devotion is to what we truly value, our God. And that's the way. Walk ye in it. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. That is who you are. Jesus is the way, our very self. That's the true historicity of Jesus. In each one of us that really take Jesus to heart. We're not worshipping Jesus. We're saying that in some sense this is a description of ourselves in the way. You know, like Pilgrim's Progress, chief character is of course Christian, who is of course yourself on the path, how you come to salvation. Great book in its time. The most read book next to the Bible in the world it was. Pilgrim's Progress. Worth reading. It's still inspiring. You can enter into the religion of the day, the Christianity that it's giving. It's incredibly instructive. But anyway, to return to where I am, God is our authority, nobody else. Not priest, not philosopher, not parent even, you know. That doesn't mean to say you're unkind and don't care for your parents. Don't get me wrong, of course. But you know, we follow God, our God. Not some religion's view of God. We're interested in what the religion's view is. We're interested in every man's view of God. It's very instructive. And we can take teaching from any quarter, including the urchin in the playground. Lovely. Thank you, Heavenly Father. You never clarify your true view of God unless you pursue putting Him first, worshipping Him. And as you do so, you'll realize what's right and what's wrong about your values, and you'll put them right pretty fast. This is no miracle born-again conversion. This is simply the attrition of time, but time well used, worshipping, loving God, your God, putting Him first, always. You'll quickly, miraculously, be born again. It might not be at, one devastating flash of light on the Emmaus Road, but it might be. It's more likely going to be over a period of time. Much more natural and, if you like, unspectacular, but astonishingly amazing when you put all the, I won't say coincidences but put all the synchronicities together of your life and you realize how God's leading you. But you won't know that leading unless you pursue what you understand to be right and good and lovely. In other words, unless you put God first. All you'll do is mess around in the chaos that you've got if you don't do that. If you want to follow God, you have to do it. And quite honestly, He does all the rest. Far more than you could put into it, I suspect. Well, far more, of course. It's cardinally important to realize that if you're not following God, you don't make much progress at all. Only in desperation, when you're turning from a particular wrong way that's causing you great trouble. It is so much easier, so much lighter, such a great saving of sorrow to simply heed wisdom and follow your God earnestly, very, very earnestly. And you will find you quickly get your superior view of God, developing from where you were. You can save a lot of time. And the Jesus story has been around a long time, and it's for a good reason. It's been saved that long, put it that way. I'm not sure it's been followed that closely because the Christian religion has all but eclipsed it. But if you want to save time, consider seeing your God as your dad. Perfect, all-loving dad. And probably who made everything. And from that foundation, well, you'll do well. Taste and see. Bless you. Thank you.